What comes to mind when you think of the word mark? Is it 100%, A+, IQ, or intelligence? Well, no matter whichever word or any similar word comes to mind, we can definitely form a statement out of those thoughts. That is, most of us as students tend to be mark obsessed. So why? This is because every day we have grown up being told that good grades are the key to better higher education opportunities and future success. But do these marks to students really matter? Will those marks determine who a student is as a person? Well, to some extent, marks do reflect who you are now and may also influence who you'll become in the future. Grades and marks embody your understanding of a certain amount of knowledge of a specific area or subject, and are also the most basic and common marking criteria for universities and companies to measure a person's ability. For example, let's say you want to become a doctor in Australia. You need to achieve a minimum of 99 ATAR score. If you achieve that mark, then great job! You now have demonstrated ability in this area, which will help you to apply for jobs at universities in the future. However, if you fail to achieve that mark, you won't even have a chance of becoming the person you desire to be. So obviously, as can be identified, high marks can provide you with proof and more opportunities. As a result, this is why marks are so important in the eyes of the majority of the public. However, marks are not everything. I do not think that the marks themselves can fully define you or characterize who you are. As soon as I started in year 7, I immediately felt the increasing pressure of marks. So like everybody else, I worked really hard and got lost in my obsession with marks. As someone concluded, I thought to myself, well, why do I care so much about my marks and what do those numbers really mean? So I did some research, I surveyed my friends, and here's what I found. Grades are important, but they certainly do not define you. There are 3 main reasons for this. Firstly, marks stand for only a part of your current ability, or the potential you have to improve in the future. Let's take a look at this diagram. The vertical axis represents the ability measurement scale, and the horizontal axis represents the time period scale. According to Raymond Kettle's fluid and crystallized intelligence theory, our abilities, specifically our acquirement of skills, facts, and knowledge, also known as crystallized intelligence, increases as we grow older and older because we're constantly learning. So, the value of a certain mark is only temporary, rather than defining who you'll become in the future, as long as you keep trying and keep learning. Secondly, marks do not represent competence in all areas or subjects. They only measure a small amount of knowledge tested in one specific area or subject. Going back to the diagram, it is only a small part of a competence that can be measured by this, while other traits like creativity, love, bravery, and kindness, and others that shape us cannot be graded or marked. They are outside of this diagram. So, even if you do not perform well in one particular area, your mark in this area does not fully define you or characterize who you are. As students, we're encouraged to not only focus on school marks, but also on things that cannot be measured by marks. Lastly, marks may not represent your actual ability. Take Thomas Edison as an example. He was abandoned from school at a young age due to his poor performance at school. He was even considered mentally deficient. Yet, despite being homeschooled, he had grown into the genius of the century, the biggest inventor of his time, bringing about the birth of light bulbs for mankind. But did his school marks determine who he was? No, his talents, far beyond his marks at school, coupled with his persistence to develop them, led him to eventually become who he was. Furthermore, according to a research conducted by Sydney Morning Herald in 2018, over 67% of Australian students feel anxious before exams, causing them to perform poorly in tests. Not only this, but other reasons such as personal issues and health problems can also lead to poor exam performance. So, marks do not speak for who you are now, and more importantly, do not define who you will become in the future. In conclusion, I would like to end with a quote from Saloni Gupta. Exams are important, but they are not everything. Grades are good, but they don't define you. Thank you.